Nightbeat starts right now.
Tonight, we are learning tragic new details about the fatal mobile home fire in Southwest Bexar County, how young that victim was.
Harvard University has a study focused on jail bail reform, and they say Bexar County is the perfect place to conduct it. Now, the study aims to not only help low-level offenders, but the county itself. New tonight, we're learning the body found after a mobile home fire was that of a 4-year-old child. This information coming from the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office.
Yeah, the identity of the child has not yet been released, but we first told you about this story on the news at 5:30. Firefighters responded to the scene just after 9 a.m. on Shepherd Road near Fowler Road in Southwest Bexar County. When they got there, the mobile home was fully engulfed in flames. They learned quickly someone was trapped inside, but they were unable to get to them because of the fire's intensity. First, they had to focus on getting the fire out.
Deputies were with the Bexar County Sheriff's Office were also involved in that ongoing rescue effort, and they got injured as well. We have a deputy who suffered burn injuries, and 2 were transported and treated for smoke inhalation.
2 other people who live in the mobile home made it out and were taken to a nearby hospital for severe burns. The cause of this fire is still under investigation. Well, the world still remains concerned for Turkey and Syria nearly a week since it was hit by a 7.8 magnitude earthquake. More than 33,000 people have died as a result. Still glimmers of hope as rescuers work tirelessly to find more survivors. A 2-month-old baby pulled from the rubble of a decimated building. Nearby, a 7-year-old boy rescued at the 136th hour. USAID rescue officials and dogs continue to scour hundreds of sites across the city, hoping to find more survivors. But across the border in Syria, there have been challenges getting aid to the victims.
It's many days beyond now, so naturally the temperature, the climate's pretty rough here, and the type of collapse and structures that are down on them are make it very difficult for them.
Temporary accommodations made out of shipping containers are being used to provide shelter to those without homes. Turkish officials issuing arrest warrants targeting more than 130 people allegedly involved in the construction of that collapsed buildings that killed thousands of families as they slept. U.S. military aircrafts and supplies are now arriving in Turkey to aid in that response. But even here in San Antonio, help is coming to Turkey. We're following up with a local Turkish organization about how their efforts to send aid are going while they mourn for their family and friends.
Although we are far away from them for thousands of miles, but still we feel their desperateness, we feel their sorrow, we feel their tears.
The images coming out of Turkey and Syria are sobering. The stories of the people heartbreaking.
His wife lost 5 of their family members. They were expecting to rescue them from the rubbles, but we ended up, reaching their corpses.
Ferhat Öztürk with the Raindrop Foundation, a Turkish cultural organization, is from there. His family friends buried 5 of their loved ones Saturday.
A newlywed couple, so they have a 49 days old baby, and the lady's 2 sisters who are in the high school students.
Their deaths among tens of thousands of others between the 2 countries. Hope for survivors still trapped under concrete is waning.
The more days pass, the more hours, the more minutes has passed. So the hopes are getting less and less, unfortunately.
Since Monday, when the earthquake happened, Öztürk says they've been collecting donations to send through the Turkish consulate in Houston.
We would highly recommend to send some baby food, some cans of foods, like non-perishable ones, and as well as heating elements.
Drawing on experience from the 1999 Izmit earthquake, Öztürk fears recovery from this one will take years. With millions displaced from their homes, the Raindrop Foundation is raising money through Embrace Relief.
With our help, hopefully they will be able to, with our humanity's help, we will be able to, help them to invigorate what they have, what they had before.
So far, they've raised more than $800,000. Their goal is to raise $1 million.
We have a link on KSAT.com where you can donate to Embrace Relief. Bowls and Goals off of Alamo Ranch Parkway donated 100% of their proceeds Saturday to victims of the earthquake. They'll be doing the same this coming Thursday.
Back here closer to home, a suspect is in critical condition tonight after being shot by an off-duty Somerset police officer outside of a Twin Peaks restaurant on the far west side. The shooting happened just before midnight at the location on Southwest Loop 410. San Antonio police say the off-duty officer was working as a security guard when escorting the suspect and the group of people out of a restaurant for allegedly being intoxicated and belligerent. At one point, the officer took out his taser. Then police say that suspect was able to grab it and run off with it. When the officer caught up to the suspect, he allegedly tased the officer, which then led to him shooting the suspect, hitting him in the torso. That suspect was taken to the hospital. Well, a fryer is the cause of a fire at a Sonic restaurant on the west side. Everyone inside, though, able to make it out okay. Flames broke out just before 10 a.m. at the location on Petrenko Road near 1604 and Military Drive West. Fire officials say an employee was operating the fryers when the fire broke out. They were unable to get it out with a fire extinguisher and had to call 911. Firefighters quickly got it out, but the kitchen was left with extensive damage. The location will be closed while they make repairs.
Some areas of West Harris County in the Houston area are no longer under a shelter-in-place order after a chemical leak was detected inside a warehouse. The order was issued around 9 a.m. It urged people to stay inside in the surrounding areas. Now, according to the Harris County Fire Marshal's office, the leak happened while a contractor was performing maintenance on a refrigeration system. That's when they discovered an active leak of ammonia. The workers weren't able to contain that leak as it got stronger, and they had to be pulled out of the warehouse. Parts of the area are still shut down as crews contain the chemical leak. The cause is still under investigation.
Well, some low-level offenders at the Bexar County Jail are having their bail paid for in the name of research.
Yeah, Harvard University is trying to learn what happens to low-level offenders waiting in jail because they cannot afford to post bail.
A San Antonio woman who was stuck in jail, unable to post bail, tells the Night Team's Camelia Juarez she hopes this study will eventually lead to reform.
Back in 2010, Laquita Garcia was accused of theft and locked up at the Bexar County Jail with a $30,000 bond. Garcia couldn't afford bail and spent a year in jail. That's longer than the punishment sentence. During that time, she lost her job.
You're sitting in jail, not knowing what to do, who to reach out to, who to go to for help, and feeling completely helpless.
Now she works with the Texas Organizing Project, advocating for bail reform.
People are sitting in jail simply because they're poor and not because they have been convicted of a charge.
Harvard researchers like Jim Greiner are collecting data to learn how unaffordable bail and incarceration impacts people accused of crimes. Since November, researchers have asked Bexar County inmates to participate. If they agree, the Therapeutic Justice Foundation will randomly post bail for some inmates and not for others. People charged with a violent crime or domestic violence are not eligible to participate. Greiner says researchers will follow up with participants over several years, trying to see if the early bail leads them towards more success.
We elicit information on mental and physical health, on housing security, on workforce participation.
Bexar County is one of 3 counties nationwide included in the study. At least 1,500 Bexar County inmates are expected to participate over the next several years.
And we might suggest to policymakers that they take a look at the evidence, and if they find it persuasive, then they might implement reforms that could, I think, put a dent in the jail population.
The results of the study could impact future legislation.
As a result, as of January, 85% of the inmates here inside the Bexar County Jail are waiting trial, and that's according to Bexar County officials. Results of the study won't be available until after 2025. Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
Well, cowboys and cowgirls from across the country were giving it their all today during the National Cutting Horse Association's Cutting Show at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. The event showcases the horsemanship and herding skills of riders, as well as the agility, precision leg work, and intelligence of their horses. In cutting, the rider and horse work as a single unit to separate one cow from the herd. Once that's done, the rider is not allowed to use the reins to direct the movements of the horse. The rider must stay in the saddle and depend solely on their horse's decisions and training to keep the cow from joining the herd again. Competitors were working to come out on top while picking up a few new tricks of the trade in efficiency and ways to protect their horses.
Different techniques, different ways. I know some people have, they tape the horse's legs.
Like other rodeo events, this one based on real-world skills people can use consistently on the ranch and trail to isolate an animal from the herd when needed.
Let's rodeo San Antonio.
I always love the cutting horse.
Yes, what a neat event. Overall, weather this weekend has been pretty nice for the opening weekend over at the AT&T Center for the start of the 2023 San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. Right now, temperature's a little chilly. Biggest three things to know as we get ready for the upcoming week. A warm start to the week, but that temperature trend is going to fluctuate. We actually are going to see some cooler than average temperatures move in for the back half of the week. At times it will be pretty gusty out there, and we only have a few small rain chances currently in the forecast, which we'll talk about in just a bit. We're in the 40s across a good portion of the area right now. A few low 50s still out there this 10 p.m. hour. We'll start off our Monday in the 40s here in town, but temperatures are going to climb to about 70 by tomorrow afternoon. You can see that temperature trend warming up through Wednesday, but then our next front is actually going to knock those temperatures down for the back half of the week. We'll time all of that out, plus get you an early look at that future cast depicting those small rain chances in just a few. Another object in the sky shot down, and no, this isn't old news. This is the third object found now. How this one was discovered and if it's connected to the others. Plus, we are bringing Black History Month and San Antonio Rodeo together to tell you the history of black cowboys in Texas, a moment in history when cowboys did not face discrimination.
The use of technology can not only make life easier, but also be used to help others save lives. Up next, we'll introduce you to a Kirby firefighter who is hard of hearing but uses unique tech to get the job done. Being a firefighter and EMT is a tough job that calls for perfect communication skills.
Yeah, that's why a Kirby firefighter says people underestimate her. She has severe hearing loss, but thanks to state-of-the-art technology, she can save lives just as well as other first responders.
Every day, Constance Gardner suits up for the grueling job of fighting fires and responding to medical calls.
It was something about wanting to have that challenge.
That spark of determination started at birth.
Being born with a cleft lip and palate, and then, having to do 12 years of speech therapy, and then over 20 surgeries I had to overcome.
Constance has profound hearing loss in her left ear and severe hearing loss in her right. With her passion for the medical field, general hearing aids wouldn't cut it.
Going into the house fires and things like that, your hearing is crucial because sometimes you cannot see. So you have to rely on your hearing.
So she got a cochlear implant with a device called the Baha.
If I take it off, then there's a screw and it's connected to the bone inside your skull. Move my hair out the way, clip it back on. There you go.
With the implant, her hearing is at 100%.
It's just like beauty. You put it on and it's like life.
Her ability to rise above challenges served her well in the fire academy 2 years ago.
Being the smallest and only female, they underestimated me.
She put in hours of extra training each day and ended up winning the prestigious Top Rung Award for being the best in her class. She humbly credits technology, showing off a stethoscope created for the deaf or hard of hearing.
And then I make sure I turn this on, and then I have my phone where it's connected to my Baha. It's the Cochlear app. Now I can hear.
Every time she saves a life, she knows the struggles were worth it.
You were able to bring them back and, get them to the hospital and then find out that they made it. That is just, no words can't describe that.
She wants the hard of hearing community to know nothing is impossible.
You're automatically looked at differently, and people judge you right off the bat. So you have to have that backbone. Put your foot down, speak up, stand up for yourself.
Meeting Constance was just inspiring, and she is not done yet. She now plans to get her advanced EMT certificate this year, as well as her Class B license, so she can start driving the fire engine. She wants to get her master's degree and eventually make captain and then chief.
She really is, I mean, spectacular. I think we're all smiling ear to ear in the studio.
So impressive.
What an inspiring story, too. My goodness.
Yeah, she was amazing. She was amazing. You can do anything you put your mind to.
Absolutely. Well, you know what else was amazing? The weather this weekend was pretty nice. It was cold out there in the mornings. Yesterday and even this morning, we had some spots dip below that freezing threshold. The biggest difference that we saw out there today compared to yesterday, one, the winds were a little bit calmer, and two, we had the mid and upper level cloud cover that has been streaming across the south central Texas sky. Now, as we head into our Monday, kicking off a new work week, we are still going to hold on to the cloud cover. I think in most spots, it's not going to be quite as cold tomorrow morning compared to what we've seen out there over the past few mornings, but still chilly enough to make you want the extra layer if you are stepping out for the Monday morning drive. We'll start off in the 40s here in and around the San Antonio area. Can't completely rule out a few isolated spots of sprinkles throughout the first half of the day, but temperatures are going to warm into the upper 60s and low 70s. So again, a bit warmer than just the low to mid 60s where we topped off earlier this afternoon. And something else that I do think you'll notice tomorrow, those breezy conditions are back, especially by late afternoon and into Monday evening. We'll start to see some wind gusts out of the southeast, generally upwards of about 25 miles per hour at times. Now, as we head into the overnight hours tomorrow night and even into the pre-dawn hours of our Tuesday, we still do have the potential to find a few spots of light rain, not looking to be widespread, but that is associated with this area of low pressure off to our west. This is essentially going to track eastward here over the next 36 hours. By tomorrow afternoon, it's sparking some rain across portions of the desert southwest. And then as we head into tomorrow night, notice this is 11 p.m. We could find some widely scattered, isolated showers out there. And then as we head into the early morning hours of our Tuesday, notice some of that still possible, especially across our central and northern counties. Then by morning drive time into Tuesday morning, a few isolated lingering showers possible, mainly east of San Antonio. But then all of that shifts farther up to the northeast, and we start to see the sunshine return, clearing skies from west to east throughout Tuesday morning. Mostly sunny skies in store throughout the remainder of our Valentine's Day plans. In terms of rainfall totals, not looking to be very impressive. Again, coverage is expected to be pretty limited with this. Generally, less than 1/10 of an inch of rain is expected to be found at area rain gauges for those that are able to cash into some of that activity. In terms of our temperatures, there's that warming trend that we've been talking about through the first half of this week. Tuesday, we start off near about 60. It will be a bit more muggy out there as the humidity is expected to climb throughout the day tomorrow and into tomorrow night. Daytime highs topping off in the mid 70s, and then notice by Wednesday we could see those afternoon temperatures approach the low 80s. Don't get used to it though, because we are expecting another cold front to move in Wednesday night. Isolated shower or two possible with that frontal passage, and then we'll start to see some cooler air move in, and those cooler than average temperatures return to the forecast for our Thursday, Friday, and even into the first half of next weekend. We also did mention those gusty winds tomorrow, especially tomorrow afternoon and evening. Could find some wind gusts upwards of about 20 to 25 miles per hour. After that boundary moves in tomorrow night, Tuesday could start off pretty windy out there. Some wind gusts in the range of 25 to 30 miles per hour. Into Wednesday, breezy again, and then after that front moves in Wednesday night, expect Thursday to be pretty gusty as well. 35
35 to even 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts look to be in the forecast. So a lot to monitor here over the next several days. Again, the big thing over the next few days at least is going to be those warming temperatures, and then we'll start to see those cooler than average conditions return as after we see that next front move in Wednesday night.
I think we have to tell everyone that we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Super Bowl rings.
They did not come in a pack of donuts that we finished.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
We'll be right back. All right, Super Bowl 57 between the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs is now in the books. It was such an exciting game featuring two of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL. With more on the big game and what else is on Instant Replay tonight, let's check in with Larry Ramirez.
Yes, two of the finest young quarterbacks in the game. Right? What'd you think of the game tonight?
Amazing.
Absolutely.
Came down
amazing.
to the wire. That's all you can ask for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pretty good game. The top two teams in the NFL this season played for the Vince Lombardi Trophy, and Philly fans are not happy with the penalty called on the Eagles with the game on the line. We've got your highlights and post-game coming up on Instant Replay. Have you had a chance to talk to Tomlin or Coach Cowher about what it takes to be a head coach?
No, I don't want, sometimes I worry about bothering them.
San Antonio Brahmas head coach Hines Ward won 2 Super Bowl titles with the Pittsburgh Steelers. What did he learn from head coaches Bill Cowher and Mike Tomlin, but what makes him different? Coach Ward explains as the Brahmas meet the San Antonio fan base.
He was my receiver when we first got here. And, we got plenty of stories. He never drove, so I was always driving him places.
Tonight is our part 2 of our sit-down with UTSA QB Frank Harris. Now he talks about coming back for his 7th season, and UTSA football alumni Tariq Woolen and Spencer Burford. Both guys had fantastic rookie seasons in the NFL. Oh, that was brutal with his sister Selena in his corner. San Antonio boxer Mario Barrios won his fight at the Alamo Dome last night in front of his 210 peeps. He looked good as he works his way back into championship contention. Our Encira Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram play of the week takes us to the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo for breakaway roping. And what was your favorite Super Bowl commercial? That's our Instant Replay poll question. We have 4 to choose from tonight on Instant Replay.
Well, we're working, so I had to record it, and I'll have to vote later.
Okay, I won't ruin it for you.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll see you soon, Larry. All right, coming up on the Nightbeat, with prices skyrocketing, we could all use a good deal or two, and liquidation outlets might be the place to go. But are they worth the bargain? We'll find out.
The San Antonio Rodeo is the perfect time to talk about some of the original cowboys in Texas, black cowboys. We break down the historical significance and how you can learn more.
And a third object discovered in the sky over unauthorized countries. What experts are saying about all the recent cases, both in the U.S. and Canada. Well, the U.S. military shot down yet another high-altitude object today, according to a U.S. official. This is the 3rd time an unidentified object was brought down over North American airspace.
Another U.S. official says the takedown of the unidentified object was at the direction of President Biden. Tina Kim tells us the concerns that are arising as more objects are found.
Late Sunday afternoon, Michigan Congressman Jack Berman confirmed the U.S. military shot down another object over Lake Huron. That makes the 3rd unidentified object brought down in as many days. Saturday, an American fighter jet shot down an unidentified object at an altitude of about 40,000 feet. It happened over Canadian territory in central Yukon. Both President Biden and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau ordered the move.
An unidentified object entered unlawfully Canadian airspace. It represented a reasonable threat to civilian aircraft. Canadian and American fighter jets were scrambled, and an American F-22 successfully shot down the object. Recovery teams are on the ground.
Canada's defense minister described the object as cylindrical. Just one day earlier, an American F-22 took down an unidentified object near Dead Horse, Alaska. Reportedly, some pilots said Friday's object, quote, interfered with their sensors. Officials add the mystery objects shot down Friday and Saturday were significantly smaller than the Chinese spy balloon an F-22 brought down a week ago off the coast of South Carolina. Republicans criticized President Biden for allowing the balloon to cross the continental U.S. before taking it down. Now, some are giving Biden credit after Saturday's shoot down.
I would prefer them to be trigger happy than to be permissive. But we're going to have to see whether or not this is just the administration trying to change headlines.
I'm Tina Kim reporting.
Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said he was told the two latest objects are likely balloons, but national security officials are pushing back on that, saying the objects do not closely resemble the balloon shot down last weekend, and they declined to characterize the objects at this time.
Former President Donald Trump's campaign team reportedly hired a research company to look into allegations of voter fraud in the 2020 election, but did not find any substantial evidence of wrongdoing that would have changed the outcome of the election. The Washington Post reports the Trump campaign retained the Berkeley Research Group to examine voting results in 6 states. A source says the group's findings did not match what the campaign team had hoped for, and the findings were never released. The firm's investigation also refuted some of Trump's voting conspiracies, including one that Dominion voting systems were somehow rigged.
A St. Louis woman is speaking out against police after they took weeks to charge a neighbor with harassment after she was caught on camera saying racist comments. Here's a look at what the family dealt with for more than a year.
Get out! You're a bunch of illegals. You don't belong on American property. Do you have something to do with 9/11, Jack?
That was video of 54-year-old Judy Klein. The homeowner's daughter says every time she stopped by, she called the cops, who did not arrest Klein. One day, Klein allegedly broke into the family's back door and got into the house while her 4-year-old sister and dad were home. Police arrested and charged her, but did not pursue the case until the daughter posted all the video on social media, and it went viral.
They took too long with the charges. I mean, just now, that the video got viral, I was able to get answers.
She believes her family was being picked on because of their Mexican descent. Klein is now charged with first-degree burglary, first-degree property damage, and unlawful use of a weapon. And police are conducting an investigation into the matter.
A Sphinx cat found wandering inside a Mexico prison is being taken care of at a pet rescue and adoption shelter. Mexican officials say the hairless feline has at least 2 tattoos. One on its left side reads "Made in Mexico" with a distinctive eagle, an image associated with one of the criminal groups operating in the state. The cat's caretaker says the cat is not aggressive, but rather very loving towards humans. The cat will be placed up for adoption, but after the state's government's investigation. For now, it'll be kept safe at the shelter.
All right, it is the first weekend of the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, and if you ventured out to the fairgrounds, you'll see cowboys and cowgirls of all shapes, sizes, and colors.
Now, the black cowboy tradition, however, is only now getting recognized. Our Ursula Perry tells us about an exhibit that highlights the fascinating story behind black cowboys in Texas.
The Whitty Museum created the Black Cowboy exhibit a few years ago, and since then it's gone all around the country, telling a tale that few have heard. Some of it surprised even the curator who researched it.
As we read more and more, we found that there were numerous examples of these enslaved men, and some of them were women, that worked as cowboys on ranches throughout Southeast Texas.
One in particular was Hector Bazzi. He was born a slave, but when he was freed, he found work as a cowboy. These are the chaps he wore on cattle drives here in Texas.
Hector Bazzi, his narrative tells an interesting story about what it was like to be a black cowboy after Reconstruction, when white supremacy and racism was really running rampant in Texas.
But Davis says in ways the black cowboy had more standing than most. Race did not factor as much in terms of pay, and when a cowboy was needed, the color of his skin was unimportant.
In the stampede, no one's asking like, oh wait, let me skip the black cowboy and ask the white cowboy to get this herd under control. No, they're riding for their lives. They're riding to get these things back in order. And so race, in that sense, in those times of emergency, was about your skills as a cowboy.
Emancipation made it possible for black cowboys who developed their skills to start their own ranches, particularly in the Texas Panhandle, eastern counties, and Kansas. And while you will see black competitors at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo this year, there is a very active black professional rodeo circuit running all across the nation.
That was Ursula Perry reporting. The Whitty Black Cowboy exhibit is currently in Dallas, and the museum says it will likely go back on display here again later this year.
All right, let's take another look outside with live cam here tonight. Got more of the cloud cover in place here this Sunday night, especially compared to what we saw out there yesterday. Again, temperatures pretty chilly. We're in the 40s and a few low 50s. We had a wide temperature spread. Again, from the start of the day compared to this afternoon, about 30-degree difference. That all thanks to the low humidity in place. The high here in San Antonio, 63, 67 in Pleasanton, 66 in Carrizo Springs, just shy of 70 down in Cotulla. We will be close to 70 tomorrow afternoon here in town. That warming trend continues through Wednesday. We'll have another full look at your forecast for the week ahead in just a few.
Liquidation outlets are becoming more popular as the impact of inflation continues. How you can get the most by spending less at these locations.